Al Capone, born on January 17, 1899, in Brooklyn, New York, as Alphonse Gabriel Capone, was destined to become one of the most enduring symbols of the Prohibition era's lawlessness. His life journey, filled with ups and downs, violence and power, takes us through a tumultuous period in American history. In this comprehensive narrative, we will delve even deeper into the life and times of this infamous gangster, tracing his rise from a troubled youth to the kingpin of Chicago's criminal underworld. The early years of Al Capone's life were marked by adversity. Growing up in a tough neighborhood in Brooklyn, New York, he faced hardship and exposure to criminal activities from an early age. Raised by Italian immigrant parents, Capone's family struggled to make ends meet. As a teenager, he joined a local street gang, earning himself the notorious moniker Scarface after surviving a knife attack that left him with a prominent facial scar. These early experiences seemed to set him on a path to delinquency and despair. The advent of Prohibition in 1920, which banned the sale and consumption of alcoholic beverages in the United States, created fertile ground for individuals like Capone to rise to power. Seizing this opportunity, Capone made his way to Chicago, where he swiftly and decisively established himself as a central figure in the illegal alcohol trade. Through a combination of ruthless tactics and unmatched organizational skills, he transformed his criminal enterprise into an empire that controlled speakeasies, breweries, and distilleries throughout the city. Chicago during this time was a hotbed of organized crime, and Capone's empire thrived. He expanded his reach into gambling, prostitution, and even politics, making him one of the most powerful and feared men in the city. Capone's reign as a crime boss was marked by an alarming level of violence and bloodshed. Among the most notorious incidents during his rule was the St. Valentine's Day Massacre of 1929. In a brazen attack, Capone's gang, disguised as police officers, ambushed and brutally murdered 7 members of a rival gang. This horrifying event sent shockwaves throughout the nation, leading to heightened law enforcement scrutiny and public outrage. Despite his criminal activities, Capone managed to elude conviction for many years, which only served to enhance his notoriety. However, in 1931, his luck ran out. Capone was finally apprehended and brought to justice, not for his countless violent crimes, but for the seemingly mundane charge of tax evasion. A federal court sentenced him to 11 years in prison. This conviction underscored the government's unwavering commitment to taking down even the most powerful criminals through legal means. Capone's life took a dramatic turn when he entered the infamous Alcatraz Island prison. Isolated from the outside world, his health deteriorated, and he faced the harsh realities of life behind bars. In 1939, he was released, a shadow of his former self, primarily due to complications arising from syphilis. Returning to society, Capone was no longer the feared crime lord he once was. His empire had crumbled, and he lived out his remaining years in quiet obscurity until his death in 1947. The enduring legacy of Al Capone continues to captivate the American imagination. His life and career have inspired countless books, movies, and television series that depict his criminal exploits. Capone's rise to power during the Prohibition era and his eventual downfall serve as a cautionary tale about the consequences of organized crime in a society governed by the rule of law. Beneath the ruthless exterior, Al Capone possessed a complex persona. He was known for his charm and charisma, traits that endeared him to many in his community. He was also a man who deeply cared for his family, often providing for them generously. These contradictions in his character make his story all the more intriguing and serve as a reminder that even the most notorious figures have multifaceted lives. Capone's life and the Prohibition era have left an indelible mark on American pop culture. Countless movies, TV series, and books continue to explore his life and the turbulent times in which he lived. The image of the well-dressed gangster with a scarred face and a fedora has become iconic, forever associated with the Roaring Twenties and the criminal underworld.